friends, Jai Shri Ram. Today I am going to review the movie Swatantyaveer Savarkar. This movie was released on this Friday, and today is Sunday while I'm recording. Actually, it's not even Sunday, it's Monday early morning. It's almost 2 a.m. in the morning. I did not get time to review this movie, otherwise, I would have reviewed it far earlier. I saw it on the occasion of Martyrs' Day of India. Uh, it's the day when the tyrannous British rule, the colonial rule, uh, they hanged three freedom fighters, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru. Uh, I saw this movie on that day, that it was Saturday, um, and today is Sunday, or maybe Monday technically. Um, the reason to bring the review after 3 days is that I also wanted to see the trend of the box office collection. So I'll be very happy to let you know when that slide comes uh, that the box office collection is continuously rising, and I see this movie as a hit because its production cost was just 28 crore rupees, and I think it will make way beyond 28 crore rupees. So let's get started. First, I'll start with the movie review, and later we'll discuss various topics that are discussed in this movie, because that is the main intention of making this review. Because any movie basically tells you about something, okay, and this movie tells you about the history which was kept from us, the history which we did not read in our history books, the history which was maliciously omitted from our history textbooks by Congress. So let's see this movie. Uh, for movie review, I have put two slides. First is only about Randeep Hooda, and other slide is about everything else in the movie, because Randeep Hooda is essentially 50% of the movie is just Randeep Hooda. You minus choreography, you minus background music, minus anything else, but Randeep Hooda himself also makes a significant portion of this movie. You cannot imagine any other actor in the demeanor of Mr. Savarkar. It is impossible that anyone else would have made this role as big as it is in this movie. First of all, we'll start with the body transformation. He actually lost 28 kgs of weight because he ate just one date and one glass of milk every single day for 4 consecutive months. 4 months, Bharat Jodo Yatra was also 4 months, by the way. Rahul Gandhi also walked 20 to 25 kilometers. On an average, we can say 22 kilometers every single day. Even that was a good feat, I would say, and even this is a good feat. If you think that Rahul Gandhi did a great job, then you should also say that here Randeep Hooda did a good job, right? Just be justified. No matter which side of the political spectrum you are in, I think when someone really works hard, you should be able to appreciate that. Randeep Hooda, you will see his work in this movie, because this is how Randeep Hooda used to be. He was very muscular and a little beefed up. You can see a little fat as well as muscle, and this is how he looks in the movie. This is how he looks in the movie, right? So as you can see, he has lost not just the fat but also the muscle, and definitely his organs might also have suffered. So he has lost, I can say, he has lost some part of his life just for this movie. I've also heard that he has sold his home to finance this movie. It is really sad. And in spite of this, this great man received a lot of criticism from especially Muslim film reviewers like KRK. KRK is such a shithead, really, that he could say something wrong about Randeep Hooda. I don't understand. वो इन्हें टट्टी खाता है क्या यार? I don't understand this guy. Uh, how can you defame someone as dedicated as Randeep Hooda is? KRK did that. You can see his video as well. And I have unsubscribed him after he criticized Randeep Hooda. Let's go ahead. Conviction in dialogues. Yeah. See, I told you in Animal Movies review as well that conviction ka paisa hai boss. Conviction matters. Okay. In Animal also, all the action scenes had a conviction into them. The director believed in that action, and that's why they were so convincing. Here also, every single dialogue by Randeep is a masterpiece. Why is it a masterpiece? Because he actually researched. He lived the life of Mr. Savarkar. He believed in his ideology. And that's the reason why all his dialogues have come with a lot of conviction. He has copied so many things from Mr. Savarkar. His way of talking. Savarkar used to be he was a very brilliant man. He also studied law, and as you might know, all the lawyers are really good with languages. So he had a good amount of vocabulary. He spoke without ah and all those filler words. So he was very fluent in his languages, all the languages, may it be Marathi, his mother tongue, or English, in which he learned law. So he was really fluent. This is what Randeep has shown there. Secondly, he used to use sarcasm to his benefit many times. So he used to be a little sarcastic. Like he didn't used to, uh, criticize someone on the face, but he would taunt the person. He would give a sarcastic comment. This is also what Randeep has copied very well. Third thing is, with his age, his lips started turning downwards. So he started looking like a sad face, right? I cannot do that, but you smile like this, and become sad like this, right? So with age, Randeep has also, during the movie, while he was enacting the young Savarkar, he used to keep the lips normally, but as he started enacting the old Savarkar, his lips he kept turning them like this. So throughout the movie, you will see Randeep has really copied the person very well. This shows his dedication, and I really hate people like KRK who would say something wrong about this guy. I did not know about Randeep. KRK used to say bullshit about this guy even earlier, but after I saw this movie, I thought this guy should be revered actually, and that's when I unsubscribed that guy, KRK. I mean, how can you criticize a fantastic person like Randeep Hooda? I don't understand. Correct bearing. As I told you, even the lips, the way Savarkar used to point finger, he used to speak like this. He used to speak like this with conviction, and his finger was never like this. His finger was always a little like this, and he copied that so fluently, so nicely, that in one of the scenes, Savarkar was not even shown, his shadow was shown. But even in the shadow, the way he was pointing finger, you could say without any doubts that it was Mr. Savarkar. Okay, so his bearing was caught really well. Secondly, Savarkar, the way of walking of Mr. Savarkar, or the way he used to, he used to stand, and everything, all those things were copied really well. The way he used to sit, see, in those days, furniture was not there in most of the homes, so people were used to sitting down. Of course, Savarkar must be having, but it's also true that everyone there at that time was used to sitting down on the floor, Bhartiya Baitak, as you might have heard. Uh, Mr. Savarkar also, whenever he squatted, whenever he sat, it looked as if, see, Randeep might not be very accustomed to sitting on the ground, right? Of course, I'm also not accustomed, but he made it look so natural, as if he had always been sitting on the ground on Bharatiya Baitak and all those things. Then the way he wore the hat, that was also, he made it look as if he always wore a hat like that. So Randeep has done a fantastic job, and this is just not just me saying this. Consider any non-Muslim YouTuber reviewer. He will definitely say that Randeep has done a fantastic job. Um, Randeep is not just an actor but also a director of this movie. So he has correctly shown the loss of hair with the age. Not just in Savarkar but in all the other characters as well. Even M.K. Gandhi also lost a little hair. You will see all the characters aging a little bit uh, along with their ages. Okay, so Mr. Savarkar, of course, as you can see, in his early days of Kala Pani, he had so many hair, and then later he was turning bald, as you can see over here. So this is how Randeep has shown the transformation, age transformation in Savarkar. Second is loss of fat and muscle. So when the movie starts, Mr. Savarkar looks very, muscular, a very lean person without much fat, but also very muscular. There is a scene in which he was doing Surya Namaskar, and it showed that he was very muscular at that time. And then when Kala Pani starts, after that he is really, mistreated a lot. He is not given food to eat and all. Due to this, even water, he was not even given water. And there was one Muslim jailer who says कि तुम काफिरों को तो मूत पिलाएंगे. So that means we would make you drink our urine. So definitely, Mr. Savarkar went through a lot of atrocities, and it's so unfortunate that our history books doesn't even don't even mention about this great guy. Obviously he lost a lot of fat. Fat he already didn't have, but even muscle. And this is what Randeep has shown really well. This is how he looks after a few years of Kalapani, and this is how he looks after he gets released from Kalapani. Still, that muscle loss is carried forward because he really lost a part of himself in the Sajai Kalapani, and it's so unfortunate. God bless this soul. Uh, he, he did something for our country which no one else must have done, and yet this guy doesn't find any mention in our history books. It's so unfortunate. At least watch this movie, make people understand why this movie is important. Accurate world building. Yeah, as a director, Randeep Hooda had to show a fictitious world. Fictitious, not fictitious actually, but the world which existed in 18 something, right? Or maybe 19 something. So, and means it must be, well, a story of maybe around 50 years or so. So, that time transformation, all the new things that started coming up along with the time, the way pens started evolving, the way motor cars started evolving, all that was shown really well. Of course, green screen was used where real objects could not be shown. For example, he wanted to show a steam engine ship. Nowadays, no one uses steam engine ship, right? So, of course, green screen must be used over there, but you cannot make it out. You cannot make out that this ship is actually animated and this is not a real ship. It looks very real. And yeah, this is an Indian movie, and many people say that Indian movies lack animation or VGI. See, VGI is something that you cannot make out. So at least in that scene, I could not make out that this ship is actually unreal, and it's just a fake ship. It I could not make out. So its VGI is really well. I can say this movie's VGI is good. Secondly, Port Blair. So Sajai Kalapani means in Andaman and Nicobar Island, the capital of Andaman and Nicobar Island is Port Blair. In Port Blair, there was a cellular jail where all the prisoners used to be kept. Okay, all the political prisoners, especially the political prisoners of British Raj, used to be kept there. And Mr. Savarkar received two death sentences. One death sentence of British is of used to be of 25 years. So total for 50 years he was imprisoned. Uh, and yet this guy doesn't find a mention in our history books, and it's so unfortunate. It's so, I mean, those people get repeated mentions who didn't do anything other than Amar and Anshan just for namesake. He did not even die. Okay, he was not even close to dying, but he was later given the title of father of the nation by Mr. Nehru after his death. And while he was alive, his security was not increased. He was allowed to die, and on the contrary, as soon as he died, he was given father of the nation. Means this is how you make a martyr out of someone. And then that death was blamed upon Mr. Savarkar. This is how you demonize someone. This is how you remove the memory of someone from the history books, from the psyche of the people of India. And this is a guy who wrote the book Discovery of India. How ironical is this? These are the people we worshipped, Mr. Gandhi and Mr. Nehru. These are the people we grew up worshipping, literally worshipping. We used to think, oh, one is the father of the nation, another is the first prime minister. Chacha Nehru. We used to love him so much when we were children. Now it is now that we are coming to know what kind of a person he was. Anyways, let's go ahead. So world building is really nice. 30 years of history was covered in just 3 hours of a film. So I personally feel that it was a little cramped up, but it was wonderfully done. I'm not saying that the filmmaking was wrong or bad. It is difficult to cover 50 years of history within 3 hours. People say that the movie is so long. Of course, it's going to be long. 50 years had to be squeezed up into 3 hours, and he did not leave any major incident. I guess he has covered almost everything in this 50 years of span. Okay. Uh, but then some people also say that it would have been better if he made a web series out of this instead of a movie, because it would have made justice to that entire 50 years span of history. Uh, because in a web series you get more amount of time, and then every episode could be one small you can say slice of that history piece, in which 2 3 incidents could be highlighted really well. But I don't know why he made a movie out of it, but it's a good thing. I think patriotic web series have kept coming, but patriotic movies, especially from Karachi Wood, is really, really rare. And it's great to see how Karachi Wood is now bowing in front of the patriots. And, they have to make movies like this. They have to, support actors like Randeep Hooda. Of course, he must have faced a lot of criticism from within the industry, but salute to this man. Yaar. Um, he stood up to all that opposition, and he actually brought this movie to theaters. It was next to impossible thing. I could not even imagine that a Bollywood movie would speak so much truth, and that too without falling into a trap of being politically correct. Here, political correctness was kept aside, and he just spoke the naked truth. Someone had to say it. This guy had the balls to say it. So, accurate history without succumbing to the temptation of being politically correct. I'll discuss the accurate history in the latter slides as well. At the moment, I'm discussing the movie review. So, first slide is about Randeep Hooda. He did a fantastic job as an actor and a director. He is the producer also, by the way. Now we will discuss other aspects about the movie. Cinematography is awesome. Port Blair scenes are very scenic. Of course, all those scenes are green screen. You can make it out, but still they are extremely scenic. I think it is green screen. I think so. I don't know for sure. Um, Indoor scenes. See, the movie had very little budget of just 28 crore rupees. So, all the Europe scenes were shot indoors. Okay, so definitely they did not go on site. They do not go to London or Paris to shoot those scenes. This is pretty obvious. Then, of course, wherever even outdoor scenes of England or London had to be shown, they must have made that environment, okay, in the film city itself. But great job. I liked it. The storytelling was really nice, so I don't mind, keeping the budget a little low, because patriotic films, anyways, don't have much of a budget because the whole industry is called Karachi wood for a reason, don't you know? Um some green screen shots like the ship in the steam engine, I told you about it. The world creation was done fantastically. The green screen was done very well, or VGI. I don't know what they used, green screen or any other form of VGI, but whatever was done, it was flawless. Then speaking about music, there is no major song, but yeah, there is one. There's a very compelling and gripping background music. Background music is really the key to storytelling. When you want to tell a story, you tell it through action and through background music. Uh, it tells you the pain of a character. If the background music, plays really intensely, it shows you the pain of that character. Like if someone was shown to be raped by a British officer, and two sepoys were standing guard, uh, to allow this rape to happen and not stop anyone from entering the house to protect that lady. At that time, the background music really, it uh, it will make you cry. It will fill you with anger, as well as uh, you will be crying and you will get angry at the same time. Um, all this is possible only with good background music. So I would give kudos to Hitesh Modak and Shreyas Puranik for such great background music. Loss of fat, loss of hair, muscle loss of all the characters along with the age is shown really well. Randeep Hooda shows tremendous body transformation expression, like the lip expression that I told you. Yeah, that is amazing. Um so Randeep Hooda I have mentioned once again because that is also a part of the filmmaking. And basically, I just wanted to show that transformation of a character with age was shown really well. Only I feel that Mr. Ambedkar's character was shown to be really fat. Mr. Ambedkar really didn't look like that, and that was a miscast, I would say, with respect to looks. But the character did his job really well. The acting was great. Acting of Mr. Ambedkar's character was really good, but I personally feel that Mr. Ambedkar was not all that fat, and he was shown very chubby, especially in his cheeks and the face. It looked really chubby. So that I think, just looks wise, it was a miscast, but the actor was good. He did complete justice to the role. Uh, and probably we should not even be judging an actor based on his looks or physical appearance. I don't know, pardon me if I did some body shaming. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, I felt like Mr. Ambedkar looked a little different. Even all the other characters were really well. Nehru, Jinnah, uh, Gandhi. Gandhi was perfect. I mean, by the end of the movie, you will literally feel that what kind of a guy we call him as the father of the nation. So, this Gandhi's character was perfect, perfect cast, perfect casting for Gandhi, and perfect role. The actor was really nice. Um, Covering 50 years in 3 hours was difficult, but it was well done. A web series would have been better. Okay, so this is my review. Now let us see the ratings. I gave it 9 out of 10 stars. Why? Because I feel acting was good, historical correctness was good, casting was okay. I told you about Mr. Ambedkar's role, but the rest of the casting was okay. See, with casting, I also means not just about casting, but in general about this film. What is the takeaway from this film? What do you remember after you come out of the theater? So you just remember Mr. Randeep Hooda as VD Savarkar. That's all that you really remember. You do not remember any other character. No other character actually leaves a lasting impact on you. But it is not because those characters were played badly. I think it is because Randeep Hooda really steals away the show. He did all this body transformation, also his acting, the way he delivers the dialogue. There is so much grip in his dialogue. First, his voice is really low, very bass kind of a voice, and when he speaks with conviction, it shivers run down your spine, and you feel it. You feel that patriotism, or you feel the pain that the character is going through, and you feel how committed he is towards freeing our country, freeing the motherland. You feel all that, and you actually feel that shivering in your body. So that's why, since Mr. Randeep was so good, I don't think other characters could have a lasting impact on people's minds. But it's only because he was too good. Cinematography was good. Music was good, as I told you. Direction. See, music I gave less because there wasn't much scope for a song. And Randeep in an interview also said that, see, I always wanted to make a film where unnecessary songs are not put into the film. And besides, this film was already of 3 hours, so he did justice to the story, and he did not want to put any masala songs there. No masala songs are there. It's intense music throughout the movie, which is great. Cinematography, I gave 2 points lesser than total points, because I feel certain scenes were shot indoors, right, to save the budget. Now I don't mind that, but then we should not be giving 100% marks there, right? And that's the reason why. So I did justice, although I'm a patriot, but still, although this is a very favorite movie of mine, but still I gave it correct rating, because let's be justified, right? I even praised Shah Rukh Khan for his movies, by the way. So I'm not on either side, but I praise good things. If you do anything good, I'll praise it. And besides, yeah, I'm a patriot. If you ask my ideology, then yeah, of course, I respect Rever Mr. Savarkar. So I was really impressed that somebody from Bollywood really made this movie. I was not even imagining that this was possible in Bollywood, but great kudos to Mr. Randeep Hooda. Music, yeah, good. Direction, yeah, direction is good. The only reason why I deducted a few marks here, and even in the screenplay, is that sometimes in the screenplay you feel like it is running too fast, because he had to cover a lot of history, and that too within 3 hours. That's the reason why. I don't see this as his mistake, but I think ये उनकी मजबूरी थी. It was a compulsion that he had to accept, because he wanted to do justice to the story. He showed the entire history, which was great. But yeah, of course, he sometimes, the screenplay is really fast, so sometimes you feel like, okay, wait, what just happened, and then that scene has already gone, and you know a lot of such happenings have just gone. They just get past, and then you real then you sometimes you can't catch up with the speed of the movie. That's why I've deducted 3 marks from screenplay and 2 marks from direction as well. Now, what about the box office collection, and what is my prediction? Will it be a hit, flop, or super hit, or maybe a blockbuster? What do you think? So, I feel, let us go with the data. Let's be empirical. Empirical means base your decisions based on your decision should be based on data, real facts. So, let's be empirical. First day's collection was just 1.1 crore rupees. Now, you might say that this is a very low collection, and why are we even talking about this movie? This movie is going to be a flop. No, my friend, it won't be a flop, because the second day you see it doubled. Third day, the rising trend continued. This shows that the collection is increasing every day, which shows that the word of mouth of this movie is good. See, sometimes a movie gets released, and just because of the stardom of the actor, uh, the protagonist, whosoever he or she might be, the main character, just due to the fame of that character or that actor, people go and watch that movie. But then they feel that, oh, he has really made a very bad movie, and the word of mouth is negative. So in that case, the next day's collection reduces, and sometimes it reduces drastically. Okay. This means that the word of mouth is really bad, and people didn't like it at all. Okay, Tiger 3 is a fantastic example. But here in this case, you will see that the first day, no one, even almost very few people even went to see. Okay, but The next day, those people must have told the other people that what a fantastic movie. Some YouTube reviewers must have said that, it's a fantastic movie. We didn't see a movie like this, and Randeep Hooda, hats off to him. People must have praised the movie a lot, and that's why some more people, almost double the amount of people, came the other day. Yeah, you can also say that the first day was a Friday, second day was a weekend day. That could have been true. But anyways, even if we don't go by this, that the collection is increasing with day, at least you can stand guaranteed that it will at least stay constant. It's a fair assumption, right? So even if it stays constant, then also cost of production is only 28 crore rupees, and within 3 days, if it covered 6 crore rupees, means 5.9 crore rupees, then just multiply it by 5. So within 15 days, see, 3 days, 6 crore, so within 15 days 30 crores will be achieved. 30 crores is 2 crores more than the cost of making this movie, right? So it will be a profitable movie after 15 days. 15 days means just 2 weeks, so the movie has to survive just 2 weeks in the theaters. It's a very low low target, I can say. This movie will definitely survive 2 weeks in the theaters. That is what I feel. Now after that, if it survives for 3 weeks, then the third week will be complete profit. So in 3 days, if it covers 6 crore rupees, maybe in 5 days or 7 days, it will be covering a little more, maybe let us say 12 to 15 crore rupees. So those 12 to 15 crore rupees will be complete profit. Okay. On top of it, they'll be selling the OTT rights to some OTT platform like Amazon Video or Netflix. They'll be selling it to at least Z. I think Z will take it, Z5, because I think I saw Z Studios in the starting of the movie. So I think Z will be taking the OTT rights. So Z will also be purchasing those rights, right? So they will also be giving crores of rupees to purchase those rights. All this is the profit of the movie. So what do we call this movie? Is it a flop? Did it lose money? No, it did not lose money. It gained money, and that's why it's a hit. But is it a super hit? It is not. Is it a blockbuster? I don't think so. But if the patriots of this country, if you and me, if we decide to watch this movie, to promote this movie, to let people know about this movie, just let people know about this movie. Honestly, I'm not even saying promote this movie, I'm just saying let people know about this movie. And I stand guarantee that if people even come to know about this movie now, then also people will hit the theaters and this movie will become super hit. And if it leads to a wave reaction, then it will become a blockbuster. A movie without taking any of the khans in the movie, and without all that Bollywood cabal, without a leftist topic, can also become a blockbuster if people really support it. Kashmir Files, Kerala Story, these are two fantastic examples. They did not take any khans, they did not, cater to the Lutein, agenda, leftist agenda, and still, both these movies were super hits. I think even Tashkent File is also a good example, but it did not reach so much publicity as compared to Kashmir Files. But yeah, still, Tashkent File was also good. It was supported by people. So this movie can also become super hit or blockbuster. It completely depends upon you. So this is my complete movie review. Now we will discuss various topics which are discussed in this movie, because this is very important. A movie is like a storytelling, right? And this movie does not tell us the story that we have always been listening, that we got freedom out of Amaran Anshan, Satyagraha, and Jail Bharo Andolan, and so on and so forth. And there were just two great people who brought us to freedom, and one is Gandhi, another is Nehru. This is what we have been hearing or believing in. Uh, this is not that story. This is the story of those unsung heroes who actually laid their lives for the motherland. Who actually, Mr. Savarkar, he spent 28 years in prison. Many of these years were in Kalapani. Okay, then in I think then in a jail in India as well. I think Ratnagiri. Then he was even when he came out, he was asked not to leave Ratnagiri, not to uh, conduct any sabhas, especially not about Hindutva or anything like that. So he was even outside the prison he was kept like a toothless tiger. He couldn't do anything. He was not even allowed to roar. He wasn't even allowed to speak to people about Hindutva, about freedom struggle, nothing about that. So he was almost kept like a toothless tiger, and that too because people were rising and people were demanding that free this man, and that's why he had to be freed. But then he was kept outside the prison, but like a toothless tiger. So let us see all the topics in detail. I have jotted them down on different slides so that I don't remember any single topic. First of all, how Gandhi favored the British. This was very well shown in this movie. Gandhi was a British stooge who wanted to mellow down the Indian freedom struggle. So, Indian freedom struggle, when it started with 1857 mainly, and that was an armed revolution. Uh, so it spread like wildfire throughout India, and what Hindu, what Muslim, they all came together against the British. This is what British got really afraid of. So they wanted to put a safety valve in India. So you will notice that miraculously one lawyer in South Africa, he miraculously his story reaches India as well. Oh, he fought for justice in Africa, and now he is here to fight the justice for Indians, and all those things. It's a bullshit story which the British planted. Okay, they made him a Mahatma. Okay, literally they made him a Mahatma, nothing else. Otherwise, you tell me one lawyer from South Africa, he gained so much of popularity in so much little time. Is it even possible? Today, even today, in today's world, also many people are doing fantastic job for the country. Do they gain such momentous popularity? Is even Anna Hazare as famous as Mr. Gandhi was? Who is working more, by the way? Is he only giving sermons or is he actually doing some work? Leave Anna Hazare, but consider anyone else. Pick any person who is actually working, and then you tell me that will he really become Mahatma? Will he be called Mahatma? Arey baap re bhai, larger than life. It doesn't happen in real world unless there is money involved. Who was pumping that money? It was the British. What was the intention of the British? British wanted a safety valve. Just like in the pressure cooker, if the pressure increases beyond a point, the pressure cooker might burst. So to stop that, to stop the anger, the to stop the outburst of anger amongst Indian people, they wanted a safety valve. So Gandhi told us all the wrong things to do. He said, you do Amaran Anshan. Against whom? Against the tyranny of against the tyranny of this colonial rule. Okay, I mean, they were so cruel, inhuman kind of people. They would anyways want us to die like dogs and cats. Okay, and still we said, yeah, we will die for you. You know, and we will die just to convince you to do something. Do you think it's even possible that a tyrannous colonial power would bend just because you were willing to self harm yourself? Is it possible? It's impossible thing. So this was just to keep people engaged so that they didn't do the armed revolution. They would start feeling that something is happening, but in reality nothing was happening. This was a safety valve for the British. Jail Bharo Andolan. What's the use of it? You could be more useful if you would kill a British officer. Instead of that, what you were doing is you were saying, "Oh, I was free earlier. I could have done a lot of things, but no, no, no. I could have become a revolutionary, but no, I don't want to. Gandhi tells me that I should fill the jails, and please do arrest me unless you want me to roam around. If I'm free, probably I can become a revolutionary. I can kill you sometime. So please engage me so that I don't kill you. This is such a bullshit method of fighting a revolution, and this is what Gandhi did. No revolution in the entire world, including India, was ever fought by non-violence or by puchkarify people that, oh, please please do this. I'm doing Amar and Anshan, give me freedom, please. It doesn't work in real life, but this is what we were made to believe. Uh, he was all show and no work, as I said. He was placed by the British to vent off the anger in Indians to calm them down, and this just they just appeared to be discussing with Indians about their freedom. Okay, it was just a you can say just a look. They wanted to appear like they are discussing about our freedom, but in reality, nothing like that was happening. This was just a stooge of the British. Gandhi, the fake epitome of non-violence, actively urged people to support British in World War One and World War Two. See, whatever Gandhi said was directly contradictory to those things which could win us freedom. An armed revolution would have won us freedom. So Gandhi immediately said, "No, no, no. I'm Mahatma. I'm telling you now. You're Hindus, now. We are very non-violent people. We don't get into violence." Completely forgetting the fact that Hindus, all the gods, Hindu gods and goddesses, they all have weapons in their hands. Fighting for justice is part of our culture. And yet, this so called Mahatma taught us that, Ram Rajya will come only when you do tyag. Tyag means you sacrifice something. For whom? The British? For the Muslims? What's the use of it? You sacrifice something, they'll take it away. And this is what that Mahatma told us. And the same Mahatma, who was so much an epitome of non-violence, this guy actively urged Indians, means actually Hindus, because Hindus only followed him more. Muslims were a little wiser than us, so they didn't listen too much about them. They didn't listen to this Mahatma too much, or maybe then Mahatma also uh, must have, purposely not sermoned them so much as he sermoned the Hindus. So, Hindus were urged that, you fight for the British in World War One, World War Two. So, my only question, or the question which this movie also asks, is that is this not violence? If you help the British during the war, which they are fighting with somebody else, so you're killing somebody, in a way you're also killing somebody, right? Because you're supporting those people who are in fact killing somebody else. So giving them that support, is this also not violence? And he used to say that, it's our duty, it's our empire is like mother to us. That's the bullshit that Gandhi used to say. During World War II, also, the British troops were killing INA people, right? So, whose hands is the blood of INA's people? INA means Indian National Army, the one established by Mr. Subhash Chandra Bose. So, who is responsible for their death? Those people who are fighting from the British side. And Gandhi was actively saying that, you support the British during World War II. Get hired as soldiers, fight for the British. That's our, empire. That's like mother to us. In a way, he was saying that England is your motherland, fight for England. And then you call this guy father of the nation. Gandhi favored Muslims as well. So there's another slide just for that. Gandhi supported Khilafat movement. Now he called him Khilafat, okay, and he showcased it as if it's a revolution against the British done by the good Muslim people. But in reality, it it was a revolution in favor of Turkish Khalifa. So it's a Khilafat movement. It's not Khilafat. Khilaf yani against, but Khalifa means basically the leader, or you can say, in a way, uh, somebody who will bring Sharia to a certain region. That is called as Khalifa of that region. So the Turkish Khalifa was being invaded by the British and allied forces, and Indians, Indian Muslims, along with all the Muslims all over the world, basically their ummat, they waged a war against these allied forces, and that is called as Khilafat movement. But Gandhi publicized it as Khilafat movement, as if they were just doing Khilafat, yani doing opposition towards the British Raj, which was not at all the case. And he asked so many Hindus to join this Khilafat movement. Hindus joined also, because Hindus considered him to be a Mahatma. So every word out of him was like, "Oh my God, how can Mahatma speak lies?" And I don't know too much of politics, but if Gandhi says it, it must be true. So that's how Gandhi was. Now, due to this, what happened? There is Mopla, or Moplah, also some people write Mopla roids in Kerala. So in Kerala, what happened is there were roids. Of course, it was very much part of this Khilafat only. And Mopla is one type of Muslims. Okay, they are usually found in uh, Kerala and Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep is, these are islands just besides Kerala, if you know. So Indian subcontinent, or India mainland, has two islands, right? So one is besides Kerala, that is called as Lakshadweep, and towards the right we have Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Right, got the idea? Now, those Lakshadweep Islands and Kerala, both of them have a lot of Muslim population right from the beginning. Actually, it is even said that Muslims came to India through Kerala. That's also said. So Kerala has almost, even today, Kerala has 26% Muslim population. Okay, so same was the case at that time as well. Similar means, and all these Muslims were previously fighting against the British. Hindus supported them. After British were defeated to some extent, then they turned all their attention towards Hindus, and they started killing Hindus, because that Khilafat movement was never against British Raj. The Khilafat movement was only for their caliphate. Okay, so their ummat means Universal Muslim Brotherhood. That is called as ummat. So it was always about ummat. It was not about winning India freedom or anything like that. Okay, and Gandhi also, to some extent, must be knowing this. Gandhi was just, I don't know why he was doing that unnecessary thing. So he often supported Muslims unnecessarily, and that hurt Hindus a lot. For example, in this Mopla Roit, 1,000 Hindus were dead. After this, what happened? Everyone, including Mr. Ambedkar, wanted Gandhi to criticize this. Okay, because Gandhi always used to give sermons to Hindus that, oh, you should do like this, you should be non-violent. If a Muslim kills you, oh, give him your throat, let him slit your throat, and maybe he will understand your love. This is what he used to tell Hindus. Now, even Ambedkar was shown in this movie saying that, you should criticize this very bluntly and very, powerfully. You should be criticizing this. They should condemn these attacks. This is not good. What has happened is not good. Gandhi said, if I talk against one community, they will feel alienated. So, I cannot do that. And then the British might think that Hindus and Muslims are divided people. Ambedkar says, you think so much about the colonizers and what they will think, but you don't think about those Hindus who have lost their lives, which is very true. What about the morale of Hindus, right? Will they not feel alienated within their own country? No one is talking about them. Due to all these things, then Savarkar had to come with Hindu Mahasabha. He had to create Hindu Mahasabha because Congress, under the influence of Gandhi, and even Nehru was the same kind, had Congress been in the hands of Mr. Ambedkar or Mr. Subhash Chandra Bose, Congress would have been a spectacular party. But unfortunately, Gandhi and Nehru, overshadowed everybody else in Congress, and that's the reason why Congress never supported Hindus. It was always in favor of Muslims, and this is what this is the reason that Hindu Mahasabha had to be made by Mr. Savarkar. Savarkar was also a secular guy. He did not really want to make a Hindu stronghold somewhere. There was no such intention, but there was so much of Muslim appeasement going on around him, and Jinnah had made that Muslim League, and that's why, as a response to that, Hindu Mahasabha had to be made. This will also come in the next few slides. India was partitioned on the grounds of, yeah, Gandhi never put up a tough fight against partition of India. He must have done satyagraha, Maun Vrat, this, that, faltu things. Okay, they don't make. See, if you talk or you don't talk, it doesn't make much of a difference. What makes a difference is if you can talk in such a way that people rise up against the British and they say, "Oh, you cannot divide our motherland." That would have made a difference. But this guy must have just given some Maun Vrat. He kept quiet. He did not want to speak on the topic. And the excuse that he gave was, "Oh, I'm on a Maun Vrat." This is how he fought against partition of India. So, for the name's sake, yeah, he fought against partition of India. But did it make any difference? Nothing. That was just lip service, I can say. That is just for saying sake. He did something, but he did it not even half-heartedly. I'll say zero-heartedly. He did that. He did that just like a dramabazi. He did not really mean to do anything. So this was shown very well in this movie. Second thing that was shown is India was partitioned on religious grounds. Of course, Muslims wanted their own country, and that is how India got partitioned. While Pakistan became Islamic, Congress made India as a secular nation. So that also, is the reason why Gandhi and Nehru are hated so much. On top of this, Gandhi also wanted a separate electorate for Muslims. So this would have meant that one Muslim vote would have been equivalent to three Hindu votes. And then Gandhi says in this movie that आप minority का दर्द क्यों नहीं पहचानते? And then Savarkar says that आप majority का दर्द क्यों नहीं समझते? 800 सालों से मुगलों का राज रहा और उसके बाद में 200 सालों तक ब्रिटिशर का राज रहा. तो मेजॉरिटी तो, how many years? It's been 1,000 years that this majority has been facing slavery, and even when they become free, after that you want this kind of shitty rules where uh, they their votes are not even comparable to Muslim votes, and one Muslim vote is like three times a Hindu vote. Is this the kind of free India you want to live in? And what wrong has the Hindu people done? Why are you treating them like this? It was a very legitimate question. Of course, he did not curse him. He did not use any abusive language as I did, but I got a little emotional while talking. On top of this, Gandhi wanted to donate 55 crore rupees to Pakistan. Why? Because, oh, you're a new nation, build yourself up, build up. This is what Gandhi was. Why was he favoring a Muslim country so much? And basically, if you didn't want partition of India, and if you, by the way, stayed in India, okay, which was the biggest loss for India, you should have gone to Pakistan because you were more loyal to Pakistan. You should have gone with Jinnah and stayed there only. But no, you came here, you considered this as your motherland, okay, you wanted this country. Then at least don't behave like this. When you have chosen India, then why are you asking India to give favors to Pakistan? The only thing Gandhi did was, make India give more favors to Pakistan. Even Nehru was not all that bad as compared to Gandhi. Even Nehru did not favor Pakistan as much as Gandhi did. Even Nehru understood a lot of things, but Gandhi never did. Okay, like for example, the Patel and Nehru, they really put a very good immigration rules which avoided Muslims from Pakistan to get citizenship of India. I might discuss it with you maybe someday when we discuss about CAA. I might discuss that with you. But yeah, Nehru was not all that bad as compared to how bad Gandhi was. Then, on top of this, Gandhi wanted India to build a road from East Pakistan to West Pakistan. So just imagine now that within our motherland, within India, you will be having a road connecting East Pakistan, means current Pakistan, and Bangladesh, means the then West Pakistan. How detrimental it would have been to our internal security. Gandhi never thought about it. Gandhi was that guy who used to say that, oh, why does our country even need military? It's not needed. We are ahimsavadi. Just because you say you are ahimsavadi, do you think the entire world becomes non-violent? They won't attack us. And Nehru sometimes got brainwashed a lot by Mr. Gandhi. He sometimes started really believing this guy, and he was also willing to reduce Indian army, Indian military, and he was shockingly brought to the reality in 1962 war, when India faced defeat just because of Mr. Nehru's policy of weakening military of India. And that is when, I should not say this probably, but we learned a lot from that war. I'm not saying the war was good, but we turned it into our advantage in a way that uh, that after that no one ever said in India that, oh, we don't need a military. Okay, so that Gandhian and Nehruvian thought of reducing the military might, uh, that vanished after 1962 war. Especially Indira Gandhi was way better than both these fellows. Indira Gandhi is really, you could have called her father of the nation or mother of the nation, whatever. I would really like it, because she did something good for the country. She was an iron lady. When you call her an iron lady, yeah, that's very true. She was an iron lady. She was somewhat like Mr. Modi ji, wanted to build a strong India. At least she wanted to, maybe she wanted to keep India for herself, like her territory, whatever it might be, but she was a strong lady, and she also made India very strong. This RAW, this was actually founded by Mrs. Gandhi, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and she made it a formidable force against Pakistan. Even today, Raw is amazing, and it's just because of Mrs. Gandhi, means Indira Gandhi. But if you take Gandhi ji and Nehru ji, I mean, if you watch this movie, you will come to know what kind of people they were. On top of this, Gandhi wanted to build a road. Yeah. So this is how he favored Muslims, and it is very well shown in this movie. Then let's go ahead. How Gandhi was allowed to be killed by Congress. Now, this movie gives you a new look or new vision or new way of looking at Gandhi's assassination. So many people say that Mr. Godse assassinated Gandhi for his own reasons. The reasons were those only that, he was supporting Muslims to such an extent, he was supporting Pakistan to such an extent that, he became a liability over the nation. Someone really, I mean, he must have thought that someone really need to take this guy down before he really ruins our country entirely. That must be his line of thought at that moment. But can we blame him? Wasn't Gandhi really behaving like that? It's up to you to understand or imagine whatever you want. Congress did the partition of India, but Gandhi spoke openly in favor of Muslims. See, Congress also wanted partition because Congress, by Congress I mean Nehru wanted partition because he was becoming the Prime Minister of India, right? And Jinnah, of course, wanted it because Jinnah would be Prime Minister of Pakistan. He died just after a few days after making Pakistan. So he broke our motherland, and then I don't know what happened to him. He died. He could not even maintain that thing. But anyways, now both these people really wanted their own share. They wanted their pie of the cake. So they wanted partition of India. But Gandhi, being, I don't know, maybe he spoke a lot probably without thinking many a times. So he spoke very openly about partition, and in favor of Muslims. He spoke a lot. Ki, "Arey re, Pakistan is a new country. We being the bigger brother, we should support Pakistan." So he spoke a lot, and whenever he spoke about partition, about supporting Pakistan or supporting Muslims, at that point people were really means very infuriated. They were angry. Already they were angry on due to this partition thing, and he actually in a way sprinkled salt over that wound, and so people started becoming angry with Gandhi. Okay, Nehru did all this thing. Nehru was enjoying the prime ministership. He enjoyed the perks of partition, but Gandhi did not enjoy anything, by the way. Gandhi spoke, and yet he invited all the wrath from the people, all the anger from Indians. So this is the background. Now everyone is actually angry about Gandhi just after independence. Now, Congress knew that Gandhi's life is under threat because he was attacked in May 1944 as well. We got independence in 1947, right? I think Gandhi was assassinated some 1 year after that or so, something like that. Um, so, just 4 years in between, right? And Congress knew that Gandhi is under threat, but then they did not increase his security at all. Okay. And what reason did they give? They said, Gandhiji himself doesn't want his security to be increased. We listen to Gandhi now. That's why. Now, you people did not listen to him when he was saying that don't partition the country. Or at least for the namesake, he said, right, that don't partition the country. You did not listen to Mr. Gandhi when he said to Nehru that, "Arey, let Jinnah become the first prime minister of united India so that our country doesn't get divided." Gandhi said all this. Okay. I mean, what kind of an advice? I don't want to give adjectives to Gandhi, but what kind of an advice is it that you allow Jinnah to be the prime minister? I mean, it is even worse than having Nehru as our prime minister, but still, Nehru did not listen to that, right? So if you were so much into the hands of Gandhi, and Gandhi was driving you and your policies, then why did you not accept these two things, that don't partition India, and second is make Jinnah the prime minister? No, don't become the prime minister. Both these things you turned down. Why? Because you didn't want to listen to him, right? So Congress was bigger than Gandhi. Congress was only using Gandhi to their advantage whenever possible. Wherever they felt that they were at advantage, they used Gandhi, right? But then he started becoming a liability. Then you wanted to take him down, but you don't want to do it yourself, right? You wanted somebody else to do it. Now people are already angry about Gandhi. You did not increase his security. You kept the security the same. And how is it even possible that somebody like Mr. Godse uh, would carry a gun to the ashram of Gandhi and assassinate him? Where was the security? Means you had literally very little security over there. You purposely probably kept it like that so that Gandhi could be assassinated. And then Gandhi was assassinated by whom? Who would assassinate him? Those people who were angry with him. Who people? The patriots, the Hinduwadis. And this gave you a chance of banning all the organizations like Hindu Mahasabha, RSS. You blamed this upon Mr. Savarkar. And then finally, Supreme Court, this matter went into Supreme Court, and Supreme Court also said that you're acquitted, nothing against you. All the claims against Mr. Savarkar were absolutely baseless. But by that time, the damage was done. The entire reputation of Mr. Savarkar was lost. The entire reputation of Hindu Mahasabha was lost. RSS was, labeled as a communal organization, anti-national kind of an organization. You did all those things. Did you apologize for that? Did you say that no, 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 RSS is actually patriotic? Oh, I was mistaken. You didn't apologize to any of them. After this, just because Mr. This Godse was Chitpavan Brahman, many people, especially from the Congress, committed riots against Chitpavan Brahmin community of India. The entire community was targeted. They were lynched. Did you at least apologize to that community? Did you give any, you know, any maybe did you compensate that community with anything? You did not do anything. That is the problem. You actually led to all this problem, all this trouble, just by blaming them. You wanted to kill two birds in one stone. You wanted to get rid of this Mahatma because he was talking too much now. You wanted to get rid of him, and yet you didn't want to dirty your own hands. You wanted someone else to do it. And then just because that guy did it, you blamed everybody that was even remotely connected to the ideology that he might be following. There was literally no link between, no established link actually, between him and Savarkar, him and Hindu Mahasabha, or him and RSS. RSS even till date says that he was not even our member here. Why getting us involved into all this thing? But yeah, everyone was demonized. And what about Chitpavan Brahmin community? You actually did a genocide. Genocide means you kill them just on the basis of their religious identity. And you people, I mean, those who Nehru called Gandhi as father of the nation after his assassination. So you people whose party actually speaks so highly about Mr. Gandhi, and Gandhi speaks so highly about used to speak so highly about ahimsa, you committed himsa based on religious grounds, based on their caste. You targeted a community, you committed a genocide against that community, and then you say कि आप तो बिल्कुल अहिंसा के पुजारी हो. This is the reality of Congress as per the movie. I have to give this disclaimer because I'm not as big, you know, or I don't feel very confident talking against people that openly. So I have to give this disclaimer. Even big journalists give the disclaimers, because that's unfortunately that's the way our country is. People are targeted a lot. How Savarkar was actually secular. Now, this is the best part of the film. This film actually tells you that Savarkar was not even communal. And what have you heard about Savarkar so far? You have always heard that he was very communal. Arey, he wanted a Hindu Rashtra. He was against the Muslims. Didn't you hear all those? Or he was responsible for the partition of India. This is what you have heard about him, right? But look at the reality. Look at what this movie says. The movie says that Savarkar, during his early days in India and then in India House at London, encouraged people to remember 1857 revolt. 1857, 1857 Kranti, uh, was the first revolt against British, which was armed, and in this revolt, Hindus and Muslims were both involved. So Savarkar used to say that, if we have to get rid of the British, Hindus and Muslims should come together. So do you understand? This was a secular guy. This was the guy who was willing to bring them together. And then, you call this guy as the communal guy. You say that this guy is responsible for the partition of India. This guy you say is he was against Muslims also. That's what you want to say. Whereas in reality, he was actually very secular. Savarkar thought that Hindu is anyone who felt love for this motherland, irrespective of their religious faith. Now, this is exactly what secularism is all about. When you say that every citizen is equal irrespective of their faith, what is this? This is nothing but, secularism. Savarkar even encouraged Majhabi jailer in Kaala to be a patriot and join the freedom struggle of India. Okay, I will come to this scene maybe in the later slides. The Muslim leadership wanted a Mughal Sultanate over India after British left. And this is very true. I'm very thankful to this movie that it came to light. Otherwise, many people find it very difficult to talk on this topic. But the Muslim leadership in India, Muslims in India, basically, um, they wanted to have the Mughal Sultanate once again, because uh, India had faced Mughal slavery for 800 years, right? And then, of course, there were Marathas also, and we had conquered back a lot of our motherland. Not conquered, but freed, we can say. uh, and then the British came, and British defeated everybody, right? Now the Muslims said, oh, we were there in power, right? So we should rule India, and these kafirs should be ruled by us. That is what Muslims thought at that time. uh, but and Congress also was in favor of Muslims. So to save secularism, Savarkar created Hindu Mahasabha. So this Mahasabha was just a counterweight against Jinnah's Muslim League, so that if there are any communal rights, then at least Hindus are aware that they should stay united, they should save each other. Just they should at least be united. That's all that he wanted, and that's why he created Hindu Mahasabha. So just because he created Hindu Mahasabha, you say that, oh, he was such a communal guy, and then you blame the entire partition upon uh, Savarkar and Jinnah. In reality, everybody, means Gandhi wanted partition, Nehru wanted partition, everybody wanted partition, and Savarkar was the only one who said Akhanda Bharat is important. You should not let partition happen. And then you blame partition upon one person, that is Mr. Savarkar from India. Jinnah now became, I mean, Jinnah is not part of India, right? He is part of Pakistan. So I'll say, from India, you blame a single person for that. And he is the only person, Mr. Savarkar is the only person who actually wanted Akhanda Bharat. This is the irony. And this is what this movie tells you very clearly. I told you that Gandhi was even trying to convince Nehru that let Jinnah become the first PM of India. That is how lost Gandhi was, or maybe he was probably doing it on purpose. Who knows? But even if he's not doing it on purpose, how lost can you be that you would ask, or you would suggest that Jinnah should be the first Prime Minister of India? How Savarkar was a reformist. So Savarkar despised, means hated, didn't like caste discrimination. Okay, and he even built a mandir just for the Dalits, because he brought Dalits with him to a temple, and he said, God belongs to everyone, and Bhagwan belongs to everyone. So everyone should be allowed to uh, you know uh, take darshan of God, right? And the priests at that time did not allow this, and so he said, okay, I'm going now, but I'll build another temple just for the Dalits, so that they get a place to worship our deities. Hinduism belongs to them as well, the deities belong to them as well. So this is what Savarkar was. He was a reformist. He wanted this reform in our religion, that caste discrimination should not happen. Then Savarkar even suggested intercaste marriages. He said, for a few generations, allow intercaste marriages, and then see what happens. After a few generations, people will forget what their original caste was, because they have been married and intermarried so many times that they will also forget that what was my original caste. They will start looking at humans like humans. Okay, that this person is good by nature. That is what they will start looking at, instead of seeing that, oh, does he belong to my caste, or does she belong to my caste. Instead of that, they'll start looking at them as like human beings, right? Then Gandhi brand Dalits as Harijans. So Gandhi coined a new term for Dalits, and he said, "Oh, Dalit, oh, you should not call them Dalits, call them Harijans. Hari ke jan hai." So there's a dialogue in this movie where Savarkar says that Harijan. So am I not a Harijan as well? Mr. Hari means Krishna. Didn't he make me? So if they are Harijans, then I am also Harijan, right? So why are you calling two brothers by different names? If we all belong to Sanatan, if we all belong to Hindutva, in Hinduism, then Why don't you just call us Hindus? Why do you want to call a few of them as Harijans and the rest of them like, oh, upper caste people? You are essentially dividing Hindus. That's what Savarkar thought, and that's how that dialogue was also there. That मैं हरिजन नहीं हूँ क्या? Am I not a Harijan? Why do you want to divide Hindus? Then Savarkar despised silly tokenism like vegetarianism. Correct. See, I also believe this. That uh, okay, let me not put my views ahead. Let me tell you what the movie says. Um there is a scene in this movie when Gandhi visited, that India House. India House was what? India House is a hostel in London, and it was for the Indian students. It was opened with a pretext that Indian people would feel more comfortable living with Indians. So that's the reason why we are creating a hostel. In reality, it was kind of a secret society. It used to work against the British. Okay, and Savarkar also joined it. So Savarkar, when he was there, and Mr. Gandhi once visited India House. Okay, so when Gandhi visited, uh, Savarkar was, eating or cooking prawns. Okay, a non-veg dish, and then very casually, Savarkar said, "Okay, come, let's have meal." And Gandhi said, "No, no, you cook non-veg in this kitchen, so I cannot eat with you." Okay, and you call Gandhi as the father of the nation, by the way. This guy said, "Oh, I cannot eat with you just because you're a non-vegetarian." Okay, I mean, it's not even that you give me non-veg and I cannot eat non-veg. It was just that you cook non-veg there, so I cannot eat anything from this kitchen. Even if you cook veg for me, I cannot eat it because in this kitchen you have cooked non-veg. And then Savarkar says that, if you can't even eat with me, then how can we fight together against the British if we can't even eat together? So Savarkar always wanted that, this vegetarianism thing, it should go away. All this too many rules that you have binded Hindus into, those rules should break off. You should just believe in one. You should have just one intention, and that is to get Swaraj. Okay, you should topple the British Empire. No, the way you do it, it doesn't matter. But first of all, you need to unite, and if you can't even unite to have a meal together, how can you unite against the British? So forget all these small little differences. Forget about the small little rules in Hinduism, or which people put in the name of Hinduism. Stop doing that, and focus on the real things. You are a slave to a colonial empire, and what do you care about? You care about your vegetarianism. What should be the priorities? Get your priorities straight. So Gandhi didn't let one fun fact, this is not a part of the movie, but I'm letting you know that Gandhi didn't even let his wife take vaccines, and he harbored an anti-vax ideology because for him uh, it was akin beef consumption. This beef is also one bullshit that people really follow too much. So even Gandhi, he didn't allow his wife to take a vaccine because he thought it is as good as beef consumption. And there is a movie. There is a scene in this movie. It will come probably in the next slide. Savarkar was a reformist. Savarkar was shown to be doing ghar wapsi of Kaala Paani prisoners who ate non-veg under the force of radical Islamist jailers. So what happened is, in this Kalapani, in this cellular jail, whatever jailer was there, he was actually a Muslim man. Being a Muslim is, I mean, that's not objectionable, but objectionable part was that he was such a staunch Muslim, and he hated all the kafirs so much that kafirs means non-believers. It's a derogatory term used in Islam for non-Muslims. Okay, so Christians are also kafirs, Buddhists are also kafirs, Jews are kafirs, Hindus are also kafirs. All the people who don't believe in Islam, they are kafirs. Even atheists are kafirs. Anyone who doesn't believe in Islam, जिसका ईमान मुसलम ना हो, वो मुसलमान नहीं है, वो काफिर है. Got the idea? That's how it is. Now, this guy, he purposely kept on targeting or insulting uh, or keeping people hungry. He targeted only those people who were kafirs, okay, or who wouldn't convert. So naturally, people would get threatened and people would convert to Islam, and then he would give them non-vegetarian food, aka you can say Islamic food. And then people had this thing in their mind that, now I have consumed their food, so I have become a Muslim, and how can I go back to my motherland? Even if my sentence gets over, then after that, how can I go to my motherland? How can I do that? Because now, I'm not a Hindu anymore. What will my parents say? What will my family say? What will my loved ones say? What will my relatives say? And Savarkar knew that this is absolute bullshit. That, if you eat somebody's food, then you become that religion's person. This is absolute bullshit. There's a dialogue in that movie, and he says कि पूरा का पूरा मुसलमान तू खा ले तब भी तू मुसलमान नहीं बनेगा. And given that logic, will a Muslim become a Hindu if he starts eating vegetarian? If a Muslim eats Hindu food, then will he become Hindu? No, right? Similarly, if you eat a Muslim food, then how will you become Muslim? Faith is something very intrinsic, it is something very close to your heart, it's your belief, right? It has got nothing to do with small little rituals like, oh, what should I eat? What should I not eat? This too much of discipline thing, na, you should leave it aside now. We are already slaves of this British Raj. You should focus on the biggest issue at hand, and stop worrying about small little things like, oh, which food should I eat? And then the way he did he did ghar wapsi. So people still didn't understand what he wanted to say. So he said, "Acha, theek hai, I'll make you a Hindu again." He took a leaf, maybe of tulsi, okay, and he said that, Om Bhurva Swat Saviturvarendam Bhargo Devasa Dhimai Devo Na Prachodayat, means Gayatri mantra was recited, and he said, now eat this leaf. After eating it, you will become Hindu. And people were so much into the grip of superstitions at that time that they said, oh yes, yes, मैं Hindu बन गया, I became a Hindu again. When he explained all the things previously, that, मुसलमान के खाना खाने से तू मुसलमान नहीं बनेगा, यानी मुसलमान का खाना खाने से तू मुसलमान नहीं बनेगा, that people didn't understand. But as soon as he recited the Gayatri mantra and asked him to eat a leaf, oh, he immediately felt, oh, अब तो मैं हिंदू बन गया. So this is how much people were in the grip of superstitions in those days. Savarkar despised superstitions as well. Like, there was one superstition which was also shown in the movie, that people felt like, you should never cross the shore. You should not go overseas. You should not cross the ocean. That's what it was. So don't cross the ocean. Uh, it is ominous, or rather, you won't remain Hindu, something like that. So he said, there's a nice dialogue here. He says that सागर भी यानी ओशन भी गंगा माँ के चरण धोता है, तो ये ओशन ही मुझे वापस इंडिया भेज देगा. See, it is a poetic way of saying that, every river basically merges into the ocean, right? So the feet of that river, if you personify the river, the feet of the river would coincide with the ocean, right? It would be inside the ocean. So in a way, the ocean washes the feet of Ma Ganga, the river Ganga. Okay, this is what he says. So ocean is, uh, das, or servant, or disciple of Ganga ji, and that's why ocean will leave me back to my motherland. And there's also a nice song by Mr. Savarkar, ne majasi ne uh, Parat Matrubhumi la. Yani, he urges the ocean to take him back to the motherland. So he despised those kind of superstitions. You cannot, cross the ocean, or you should not do that. Um, he basically wanted to go offshore because he wanted to learn the British law and use it against them. Besides, he was also under the opinion of the opinion that, unless you go overseas, how will you take help from the other countries who might be against the British? Like Germany was against the British, so how would you take their help? Or Japan, how would you take their help against the British? So you have to go offshore. You have to go across the ocean, meet new people, try to gather their friendship, and try to gather their help, and try to free our motherland from the British Raj. Then finally, Islamic conversion racket at Kaala Paani. Here I'll discuss it in detail. Kaala Paani's jailer was a Muslim, and he treated all the Hindus as kafirs. Okay. Now, so he used to convert people to Islam by starving them, or by giving them food, and giving them food only if they recited an ayat of Islam, which would convert them to Islam. Okay, so he forcibly converted people by starving them, okay, or by mistreating them, beating them up, that kind of things. He kept people into the Islamic faith by making them eat Islamic food, that means non-vegetarian food. Savarkar ji performed ghar wapsi of several Hindus in the jail. So this cruel, fanatic jailer beated him up badly, and Savarkar kept urging him to be a good Muslim and support the freedom struggle. So look at Mr. Savarkar. He was still trying to convince that jailer also, who was so fanatic. He was such, cruel person who only wanted to look at Islam and Islam and Islam and only Islam. So he didn't see anything beyond Islam. And Savarkar ji tried to reason with him as well, and he tried to say that, if you want to be a Muslim, stay a Muslim, but be a good Muslim, right? Be a Muslim who would support uh, his own motherland. You try to free India, or try to do something like that. But that jailer always stayed loyal only to Islam and showed no regard for the motherland. So that was all, and I've gathered all this from these sources. So these four are trailers. This is the Marathi rap song that you will see in the end credits of the movie. Very fantastic. You should really watch this rap. And this is a stand-up comedy. I'm just giving it without a reason. It's not related to the movie, but it talks about Bhagwai Pak. So I wanted to put this idea in front of you. See, Pakistan, or separatist Muslims even in India, they keep saying that Gazwa-e Hind hona chahiye. Yani, India should become Abrahamic, means so, to be in particular, India should become Muslim. Um, and then in this stand-up comedy, the comic says that, अभी पाकिस्तान की जो हालत चल रही है, और भारत में जैसा सत्ता है, जैसा मोदी जी हैं, उनका जो मूड है, उसके अनुसार ज़्यादा चांसेस इस बात के हैं कि गजवाए पाकिस्तान तो नहीं होगा, लेकिन भगवाए पाक ज़रूर हो जाएगा। सॉरी, गजवाए हिंद तो नहीं होगा, लेकिन भगवाए पाकिस्तान ज़रूर हो सकता है। So I wanted to put this idea of Bhagwai Pak, and why don't we talk more about Bhagwai Pak? And that's the reason why I gave you the link to this comedy, video. And do subscribe this kind of patriots. Do subscribe this kind of stand-up comics, because if you don't like stand-up comics who ridicule India, who ridicule Hinduism, then you support those who actually ridicule Pakistan, who actually look at India or show India in a good light. You should favor that kind of patriotic comics, just to balance it out. I'm not even saying that, we want to be the power or anything like that, but at least there needs to be some balance, right? And that's why I've subscribed this guy. I'll strongly urge you also to subscribe this guy. You will find all these slides in the video description under study material title, and you will find all the timestamps of all the topics that we have discussed below it in the video description itself. It is under the title of index. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram. And yeah, do let me know how you felt about this movie. Have you watched this movie? Do let me know in the comments. If you have watched, tell me everything about that movie. Tell me your reactions. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, or tell me what you think about patriotism in general. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram. ये है अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव.